The millionaire rejected all women, but fell in love with the young black woman sleeping at the bus stop. The apartment door slammed so hard that the frame cracked. "Get out of here! Now!" The landlady's voice echoed through the narrow corridor, attracting curious looks from the other doors. "You don't pay, you don't eat, you don't work. Are you thinking this is a shelter?" Luana held her battered backpack against her chest, her eyes burning with contained tears. The fine March rain was beginning to fall outside and she had nowhere to go. "Please, Dona Nusa, just 3 more days. I got an interview on Monday, I swear." "You swear?" The woman with her arms crossed spat out the words. "You swore last month." She swore when she came here, with her story about being a hard-working student. The mother is hard-working, who works to support a slut. The entire hall watched. Luana felt her face burn. 2 neighbors were whispering near the elevator, one of them holding her cell phone at a suspicious angle. A boy of about 7 years old was pointing and laughing. The door to 304 opened slowly. Old Sebastião, who always greeted Luana with a shy wave, looked at the scene and closed the door quickly. Nobody was going to help. They never helped. I'm not a slut." The voice was low, trembling, almost inaudible. "Then pay me." Dona Noisa reached into her pocket and threw a plastic bag at Luana's feet. "And take that rubbish. I don't want anything from you in here." Luana slowly lowered herself, feeling her knees shaking. The bag contained 3 items of clothing: a faded blouse, a pair of jeans with a patch at the knee, a t-shirt she wore to bed, a crumpled notebook full of notes from the digital marketing course she was unable to finish, and a framed photo of her mother. In the photo, Dona Joana smiled in her Recife hospital cleaning uniform, holding Luana in her arms when she was just 5 years old. It was all that was left of 6 months of fighting. "And don't come back here asking for anything, you hear?" Dona Noisa crossed her arms, victorious. "Poor black people always think the world owes them everything. But not here, okay? Here it is, everyone for themselves." Luana bit her lower lip hard. "I wasn't going to cry. Not there. Not in front of them." She turned her back, went down the stairs, the elevator had been broken for weeks, and went out into the cold São Paulo night. The rain thickened as soon as she stepped onto the sidewalk, as if the universe was conspiring against her. Luana walked aimlessly for almost an hour. The downtown streets were empty, just a few cars passing quickly, throwing dirty water from puddles on the sidewalks. She passed a closed bakery and felt her stomach drop. The last thing she had eaten was half a drumstick that a colleague had shared with her on Friday. Today was Sunday, 2 nights without real dinner. "How did I get here?" The question rang out as she walked, hugging her backpack as if it were a shield. The holey shoes let water in. The feet were numb from the cold, but she kept walking because stopping meant thinking, and thinking meant falling apart. 6 months ago, Luana had been approved in 3rd place in the selection process for a marketing intern at Prado and Associados, one of the most renowned agencies in São Paulo. There were 340 candidates, 3 interview phases. She passed them all with very high grades. It vibrated. He called his mother in Recife, crying with joy, promising that it would finally work out, that he would send money every month, that he would bring Dona Joana to live with her. "My daughter is going far," said Dona Joana. Her voice choked. "I always knew." But when Luana arrived on the day scheduled to sign the contract, the receptionist looked at her with an icy smile and said, "The vacancy has been filled. Sorry." "Like this?" "I was approved. I received the email confirming there has been a change." The woman didn't even look up from the screen. The board decided to hire someone with more experience. Luana later discovered from an intern who left the company that the position had gone to Clara Prado, 17 years, daughter of the creative director. No interview, no evaluation, last name only. The rent money is gone. The night course she paid for by working as a waitress was interrupted when the Bella Tavola restaurant closed without warning, leaving her 3 months' salary behind. Luana tried to sue, but the lawyer asked for $2,000 as a deposit, money she didn't have. And Dona Noisa, who at first seemed understanding, lost her patience when she realized that Luana had no family in São Paulo, no guarantor, no protection network. It was easier to throw her out on the street than risk losing the rent. Now Luana was there, alone, invisible, one more among thousands that the city swallowed without making a sound. At 11:47 p.m., Luana was sitting at the bus stop on Avenida Paulista, shivering inside the thin coat she wore, and no longer protected anything. The metal bench was cold, wet from the rain running down the shelter's cracked roof. The city around seemed indifferent. Cars passed quickly, their lights reflecting in the puddles of water. Commercial buildings gleamed like unreachable towers. A couple laughed loudly, leaving a bar, tripping over each other without looking at her. She opened her backpack with shaking hands. Inside, her $12, 0 in coins, half a package of cream crackers already soft with humidity, her cell phone that had been discharged for 2 days, and the CV printed on glossy paper that she would take on Monday to the interview at the clothing store in the El Dorado shopping center. If she could find a place to shower, iron her clothes, and look at least presentable by then. I need to hold out until Monday. She repeated this like a mantra. Monday, just 2 days. If she got a job as a saleswoman, even if it was minimum wage, even if she had to be on her feet all day, she would be able to rent a room, eat properly, call her mother without lying. Luana took the framed photo out of her backpack and ran her finger over the faded image of Donna Joanna. The frame had been cracked since the last change. She remembered the last conversation they had, 3 weeks ago. Mom, everything is fine here. I'm fine. Are you sure, my daughter? Your voice is strange. I'm just tired from work, but everything's great. Next week I'll send you some money, okay? Lie. All lies. And Donna Joanna probably knew, but she didn't insist. Luana placed her head against the cold glass of the shelter and closed her eyes, just to rest, just for a second, just to pretend that when you woke up, everything would be different. Fatigue won. She fell asleep sitting up, her backpack clutched to her chest, the rain drumming on the acrylic ceiling. And it was at that exact moment that destiny knocked on the door. The black Audi A8 glided down the avenue in silence, its LED headlights cutting through the darkness. Inside, Rafael Almeida adjusted the knot of his Italian tie and sighed deeply, trying to expel the boredom that was suffocating him. Another unbearable dinner. Another woman trying to seduce him with a calculated cleavage, rehearsed conversation about expensive wines, and eyes that only saw his estimated fortune of $480 million. Another night where he feigned interest, paid the bill and left alone, feeling emptier than when he arrived. Rafael Almeida, 36 years old, CEO of Almeida Holdings, a conglomerate that controlled 3 hotel chains, 2 construction companies, and a technology company. Heir to one of the most traditional families in São Paulo. Single, disputed by dozens of women he would never choose. Exhausted from pretending this was life, he looked out the window. The city passed by in blurs of light. Always the same city. Always the same interesting people. Always the same emptiness corroding inside. Are you going straight home? Asked Jonas, the driver, watching in the rearview mirror. Jonas had worked for the family for 15 years and knew Rafael well enough to notice when he was particularly distant. Yes, Jonas. Direct. But something made him look to the right. A bus stop. A curved figure, almost lying on the metal bench. A backpack leaning against his leg. Wet, frizzy hair stuck to the face. Small hands holding something against the chest. Rafael felt his heart tighten. I didn't know why, but something about that scene, the loneliness, the vulnerability, the silent struggle, hit him like a punch. To the car. Jonas hit the brakes, scared. The car skidded slightly. Sir, stop, now. Rafael was already opening the door before the car had even come to a complete stop. He got out, feeling the rain wet his 3,000 rays suit, and crossed the avenue with quick steps. Luana woke up to a deep voice, too close. Girl, are you okay? She opened her eyes, disoriented, her heart racing. A man was crouched in front of her, impeccable suit, even when wet, perfectly aligned tie, a watch that glowed even in the dim streetlight, worried face, clear eyes fixed on her. She instinctively backed away, clutching her backpack. I'm fine, sorry, I was just waiting for the bus. Rafael looked around. The avenue was completely empty, no bus lights in the distance, no other vehicles stopping, just the rain, the wind, and that fragile lie in between. There are no buses now, he said, with a gentleness that seemed strange coming from such an imposing man. And it's raining hard. Do you have anywhere to go? Luana hugged her backpack even tighter to her body. Every instinct screamed, be careful, rich man. Night, empty street, danger. I'm waiting for someone. Obvious lie. They both knew. Rafael noticed, but didn't insist. He stood up slowly, as if any sudden movement could frighten her, and took off his jacket. The rain had already soaked his white shirt, but he didn't seem to mind. Import. At least accept that. It's shaking. I don't need, please. His voice was firm, but there was a softness there, a sincerity that Luana hadn't expected. It's not charity. It's humanity. She looked at him, really looked. For the first time in weeks, someone looked her in the eye. No judgment, no contempt, no pity, just genuine concern. She accepted the jacket with shaking hands. It was heavy, hot, and smelled like expensive perfume mixed with rain. She covered herself, feeling the heat envelop her shoulders, and closed her eyes for a second. Thank you, she whispered. Rafael smiled lightly. It was a sad smile, as if he knew exactly what it was like to be lost. Let me take you somewhere. A hotel, a guest house, someone's home. Please, I don't know you. I know, and you're right not to trust it. He raised his hands in a gesture of surrender. But I can't leave you here. Not like that. Let me help. No commitment, no expectations, just humanity. Luana hesitated. Everything in her screamed to refuse, but the rain was falling harder now, almost violent. The cold cut the bones. His feet were numb, and that man had eyes that seemed to carry the same loneliness as her. It's okay, she whispered, barely audible. Raphael opened the back door of the Audi. Luana entered slowly, still holding her backpack as if it were the only thing keeping her connected to reality. The leather seat was absurdly soft. The air conditioning warmed the interior with a gentle hum. There was a bottle of mineral water in the holder, sealed. For the first time in hours, she stopped shaking. Jonas looked in the rearview mirror, eyes wide with surprise, but said nothing. Raphael entered the bench next to her, not in front as she expected, and waved to Jonas. Hotel Melia, quickly please. Yes, sir. The car slid through the wet city. Luana looked out the window, watching Paulista pass by. The bright buildings, the empty storefronts, the world that always seemed so far away from her. Do you have a name? Raphael asked quietly, respectfully. She hesitated. Luana. Raphael. He extended his hand. She looked at her hand, then at him, and squeezed slowly. His hand was firm, warm, gentle. Why are you doing this? The question came out before she could stop it. Raphael looked away from the window. He remained silent for so long that Luana thought he wasn't going to respond. Then he said, his voice low, because once, I was lost, in a different way than yours, but lost, and someone stopped. Someone who didn't owe me anything, stopped and helped me. He smiled, but there was sadness there, and I swore that if one day I could, I would do the same. And you did it? Meet again? Raphael looked at her. Not yet, but maybe today is the beginning. Luana didn't know what to answer. The car continued in silence, just the rain hitting the glass, and something impossible, fragile and powerful, began to be born. 10 minutes later, the Audi stopped in front of the Hotel Melia, an elegant building with mirrored glass. The uniformed doorman opened an umbrella and came towards the car. Raphael went down first and helped Luana out, protecting her from the rain. Inside the lobby, everything sparkled. Polished marble, crystal chandeliers, leather sofas. Luana felt completely out of place. Some people looked. A couple murmured. She lowered her head, but Raphael walked straight to the front desk and placed his hand on her back. Not possessive, just protective. Good night. I need a room. 2 nights. The receptionist looked from Raphael to Luana, raised an eyebrow, but maintained professionalism. Of course, Mr. Almeida. Suite on the 8th floor. Perfect. And please send clean clothes. He looked at Luana. Size M, 38 pants, hygiene products, and a dinner. Something hot. Immediately, sir. Raphael signed something, received the key card and turned to her. There, he said, handing over the card. Room 804, breakfast included. And, he took a business card from his pocket. If you need anything, call me. She looked at the card. Rafael Almeida, CEO, Almeida Holdings. You are rich. I am. He shrugged. But that doesn't matter now. What matters is that you are safe. Why me? Luana asked, her voice choked. You pass dozens of people on the street every day. Why did you stop for me? Raphael was silent. Then he said, because when I saw you there, I didn't see anyone asking for help. I saw someone who was struggling not to order. He swallowed dryly. And it reminded me of myself. He waved, turned and walked towards the exit. Wait. Luana took a step forward. And tomorrow? What happens tomorrow? Raphael stopped and looked back. Tomorrow you rest, you eat, you take care of yourself. And if you want, we'll talk. No pressure. Just 2 people trying to understand how they got to where they are. He left through the revolving door and disappeared into the night. Luana stood in the lobby looking at the card, feeling the jacket still on her shoulders, and for the first time in months, she cried, not out of despair, of relief. Isendor. But on the other side of the city, in a penthouse apartment in Itimbibi, with a panoramic view of São Paulo's illuminated skyline, someone was watching Rafael Almeida's banking activities with sharp eyes and red nails drumming on the marble table. Victoria Sandoval, 32 years old, Rafael's ex-fiancée, almost wife, almost Mrs. Almeida, almost owns half of $480 million. She was looking at the tablet screen where the bank app, which she still had access to, courtesy of a password Rafael never changed, was showing the most recent transaction. Pix transfer, 1-800, beneficiary, Hotel Melia, time, 11:58 p.m. Victoria narrowed her eyes. Rafael never hosted anyone. He rarely went out, and when he left, he returned home. She took out her cell phone and dialed. 3 rings. Hello? The voice on the other end was cold, calculated. Eleonora Almeida, Rafael's mother, matriarch of the family. The woman who had put Victoria out of her son's life a year ago with a single sentence. You're not good enough for the name Almeida. Eleonora, good night. Sorry to call late. But you won't believe what Raphael did. Silence. Then, what, Victoria? He took a beggar to a hotel. Victoria let the word float. Venomous. A black woman he found sleeping on a bus bench. Silence. Far away. Heavy. Then, a low, cold, dangerous laugh. Interesting. Very interesting. Victoria smiled. What do we do? Nothing for now. The voice became even colder. Let her get closer. Let him fall in love. Let him expose himself. And when he is blind, vulnerable, a theatrical pause, we destroy her. Completely. Victoria felt a shiver of pleasure run up her spine. Do you want me to hire someone to investigate? I'm already calling Marcio. Marcio Ventura, private investigator, specialist in solving problems discreetly. Tomorrow morning I want to know everything about this creature. Name, origin, history, debts, family, all. What if it's clean? Eleonora laughed, a sound like breaking glass. No one is clean, Victoria. Everyone has a skeleton. And if she doesn't have one, we create one. The call has been terminated. Victoria looked out the window, seeing the city lit up and toasted alone. Welcome to the game, Luana. You don't know who you're messing with. The conspiracy is already in motion. Victoria and Eleonora plan to investigate and destroy Luana before she even realizes the danger. Luana woke up at 7:32 a.m. disoriented. For a second, he didn't recognize where he was. The mattress was too soft. The sheets smelled like lavender. Light came in through thick curtains of expensive fabric. Then it all came back. The eviction, the rain, the man in the suit, the hotel. She sat up in bed, her heart racing, and looked around. The room was huge. There was a flat-screen TV on the wall, a minibar, a desk, a sofa. In the bathroom, which she had explored the night before with a mixture of fascination and guilt, there was a bathtub, toiletries from brands she had only seen in commercials, and fluffy white towels piled high. On the chair next to the bed there was a set of new clothes, still with the tags on. Black jeans, size 38. Basic white blouse, size M. A gray sweatshirt. White sneakers, number 36. Everything fine. How had he guessed? Luana took the blouse and pressed it against her face. It smelled new. The possibility. A fresh start. She got up slowly, her body still feeling sore from so many sleepless nights, and went to the window. He opened the curtains. São Paulo woke up downstairs. The traffic was already intense on Avenida Brigadeiro. People running to work, life going on as usual. But for her, something had changed. Why did he do that? The question hammered. Luana didn't believe in gratuitous kindness. Life had taught that everything had a price. So what was the price of this help? She picked up the business card that was on the nightstand. Rafael Almeida, CEO, Jew, Almeida Holdings. Luana took out her cell phone, which she had charged overnight, and typed the name into Google. The results exploded on the screen. Rafael Almeida assumes full control of Almeida Holdings after his father's death. Herrero dos Almeida invests $120 million in sustainable technology. Rafael Almeida, the most eligible single CEO in São Paulo. There were photos, lots of, Rafael at charity events in an impeccable tuxedo, Rafael opening a hospital, Rafael on the covers of business magazines with that polite and distant smile. Luana clicked on a Veja article from 2 years ago. Rafael Almeida, 34, heir to one of the biggest fortunes in São Paulo, surprised the market by assuming the presidency of Almeida Holdings after the premature death of his father, Ricardo Almeida, victim of a heart attack at the age of 61. Since then, Rafael has multiplied the family's wealth, expanding into technology and clean energy. Known for his discreet profile and for refusing personal interviews, Rafael is also one of the most sought-after singles among São Paulo's elite, but he remains alone. He's not interested in anyone, said a source close to the family. It's like I'm waiting for something, or someone. Luana felt her chest tighten. This man, this billionaire CEO who appeared in magazines, who ran companies, who had the world at his feet, had stopped the car to help her. Why? She remembered what he said. Because once, someone helped me when I needed it most. Who? When? As? Luana continued researching. He found an old article from 15 years ago about the Almeida family. There was a photo, Ricardo Almeida, the patriarch, next to an elegant blonde woman, Eleonora Almeida, his wife, and next to them, a young Rafael, perhaps 21 years old, smiling politely but blankly. There was no heat in that photo, just pose. Luana closed the browser and threw her cell phone on the bed. I had so many questions, but I didn't know if I wanted, or if I should, look for answers. At 9:15 a.m., Luana took a shower, a long, hot shower, crying under the shower as the hot water erased days of cold and dirt. She washed her hair 3 times, scrubbed her skin until it was red, and stood under the water just feeling it. When he left, he put on new clothes. Everything worked perfectly. She looked in the mirror and almost didn't recognize herself. It looked clean, rested, human again. The bedroom phone rang, making her jump in fright. She answered hesitantly. Hello? Good morning, ma'am. Here's the reception. Mr. Almeida is in the lobby and I would like to know if you would like to have breakfast with him. Luana felt her heart race. Is he here? Yes, ma'am. Should I say that you accept? She hesitated. Should I go down? Should I refuse? Should I say thank you and leave before this becomes something? But the truth is, she didn't want to leave. Not yet. Not without understanding. You can say I'll be down in 5 minutes. Raphael was sitting at a discreet table in the hotel restaurant near the window, absently stirring his coffee. He was dressed casually today. Dark jeans, light blue shirt, no tie. But he still exuded that natural elegance of someone who never had to make an effort to appear important. When he saw Luana enter, he stood up immediately, smiled. Good morning. Did you sleep well? Luana approached slowly, still processing the surreality of it all. I slept better than in a long time. Great. He pulled out the chair for her, a gesture that took her by surprise. Sit down, please. I ordered a full coffee, but if you want something specific, you can ask. She sat down, looking at the table. There were breads, cold cuts, fruits, juices, cakes, real food. His stomach growled. You can eat as much as you want, Raphael said, as if he had heard. No rush. Luana took a loaf of bread, spread it with butter, and took the first bite. The flavor exploded in the mouth. She closed her eyes, feeling like crying again. Raphael watched in silence, but there was something in his gaze, something soft, understanding. Thank you, Luana said, her voice breaking, for everything. I don't know how I'm going to repay you, but I swear that you don't need to pay, he interrupted gently. It wasn't a loan. It was humanity, as I said yesterday. But why? She insisted, putting the bread back on the plate. You don't know me. I could be anyone. I could be dangerous, a liar, a gold digger. You're not, Raphael said, with a certainty that scared her. I saw your eyes yesterday. I saw how you held that photo. I saw how you were struggling not to fall apart. This is not a lie. Luana swallowed dryly. How did you know? The clothes, the size, everything okay? I have 3 sisters, he lied, smiling slightly. I learned to observe. In fact, he had called the hotel manager and asked for help, but he didn't want to embarrass Luana with details. They were silent for a moment. Luana ate slowly, feeling each bite like a blessing. Raphael drank coffee, looking out the window. Can I ask you a question? Luana said. Of course. You said someone helped you once. Who was it? Raphael remained motionless. His fingers tightened around the cup. He looked away. Someone who saw me when I was invisible, even though I was, too visible. Luana frowned. I didn't understand. Raphael smiled, but it was a sad, heavy smile. Do you think money protects you from everything? He looked at her. I spent my entire life being seen as a cipher, as a surname, as heir, never like Raphael. He took a deep breath, and there was it's been a long time since you treated me like people. Who didn't want anything from me other than talk, in truth? And what happened to that person? I lost her. His voice became hoarse. And since then, I've been trying to find that again. That connection, that humanity. Luana felt something tighten in her chest. There was pain there, real pain. And suddenly she understood. This billionaire, powerful, envied man was as alone as she was. I lost someone too, Luana said softly. My mom. I mean, she's alive, but far away. And I'm here, failing, lying to her, pretending that everything is fine when in reality, you're breaking. Luana nodded, her eyes teary. I promised her it would work, that it was going to be different, that he was going to win. She laughed, a bitter laugh. And look where I am. You're alive, Raphael said firmly. You're fighting. You didn't give up. That's winning. Luana looked at him, and for the first time, she felt that someone really saw her. Not the poor black woman, not the poor thing, but Luana, complete, human. After coffee, Raphael offered help with employment. He said he knew people, that he could make calls, but Luana refused. I need to do it myself, she said, with a dignity that impressed him. But thank you. In truth, I understand. He smiled. But at least let me give you a number. If you need anything, call me. She accepted. She saved his number on her cell phone. Raphael, hotel. As she was leaving, he lightly grabbed her arm. Luana, can I see you again? Not out of pity, not out of charity, but because I enjoyed talking to you. In truth, she looked at him, surprised, confused, scared. I don't know if it's a good idea. Why? Because you are you, and I am me. She gestured helplessly. It doesn't make sense. Maybe that's exactly why it makes sense, Raphael said, quietly. Luana didn't respond. He just waved, walked out the revolving door, and disappeared into the city's crowd. Raphael stood in the lobby, watching her leave, feeling something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. But while Luana was walking along Paulista towards the subway, her cell phone with 18% battery, and her interview on Monday, as the only certainty, on the other side of the city, a conspiracy was taking shape. In Eleonora Almeida's private office, located on the top floor of a commercial building in Jardins, 3 people were meeting. Eleonora, blonde hair tied into an impeccable bun, gray suit, cold eyes, 62 years of absolute power over everything and everyone around him. Victoria, sitting in the leather armchair, crossing her legs, smiling with satisfaction, and Marcio Ventura, private investigator, 50 years, bald, thin-framed glasses, leather folder full of papers. Then, Eleonora said bluntly, "What did you discover?" Marcio opened the folder and placed a series of documents on the glass table. Full name, Luana Ferreira dos Santos, 24 years old, born in Recife, Pernambuco. Mother, Joana Maria dos Santos, cleaning lady. Father, unknown. Luana came to São Paulo 8 months ago with a partial scholarship for a digital marketing course at FGV. Eleonora raised an eyebrow. Bag? FGV? Yes. She was a good student, high notes. But he abandoned the course in the 5th month due to lack of payment. Victoria smiled. So she's poor and a dropout. Perfect. There's more, Marcio continued. She has worked in 3 places in the last few months. Waitress at Bella Tavola, a restaurant that closed without paying its employees. Assistant at a clothing store. She was fired for lack of suitability for the brand profile. He made air quotes. And a receptionist at a clinic. He left after 2 weeks, without official justification. Eleonora drummed her fingers on the table. So she's unstable, can't keep a job. You probably have debts. Exactly. Marcio turned the page. And there's something interesting. She was approved in 3rd place for an internship at Prado and Associados, but the vacancy was filled internally. She tried to question, and was ignored. So she's resentful, Victoria said, excitedly. Perfect. A poor, resentful woman, without a job, without money. It's obvious that she has her eye on Raphael. Eleonora looked at Marcio. Criminal record? None. Debts? Small. Late rent, some purchases in installments. Nothing significant. Medical history? Psychiatric? Clean. Eleonora narrowed her eyes. I was looking for something, anything I could use. And the mother? Joana Maria dos Santos, 53 years old. Cleaner at Recife Regional Hospital for 28 years. Clean history. No debt. No lawsuits. An ordinary citizen. Victoria snorted. So there's nothing? Nothing we can use? Marcio hesitated. Then he said quietly, not directly, but there is something. Eleonora leaned over front. What? Luana has a friend, Karina Souza. They lived together for 3 months. Karina is, let's say, creative with the truth. He has 2 counts of embezzlement filed due to lack of evidence. He works selling cosmetics and, let's just say, some products weren't exactly legal. Victoria smiled slowly. So her friend is a scammer. Not proven, but there are signs. Eleonora leaned back in her chair, thoughtful. Then he smiled, a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Perfect. If the friend is a scammer, we can create the narrative that Luana learned from her. We can plant the idea that Luana is a trained opportunist who uses poverty as bait. But Raphael won't believe that, Victoria said. He's stubborn. When you're convinced of something, you don't change your mind. So let's not convince him now, Eleonora said coldly. Let's plant doubts. Slowly. Let's make him start questioning himself. And when he's vulnerable, we deliver the final blow. Marcio closed the folder. And what's the next step? Eleonora looked out the window, seeing the city below. Your city, your territory. You will continue investigating. I want to know every step she takes. Where she goes, who she talks to, what she eats, where she sleeps. All. And you, she looked at Victoria, are going to get closer to Raphael. Casual dining, by chance. Remind him of what you had. And what about Luana? Eleonora smiled. Let her get closer. Let her feel safe. And when she's completely in love, we crush her. And the conspiracy is on the move. Marcio is investigating Luana's every step. Eleonora and Victoria have a plan. Let their love grow, and then destroy it. Monday, 9:45 a.m. Luana was standing in line at the Eldorado shopping mall, holding her laminated resume with hands that insisted on shaking. In front of her, 12 other women were waiting for the same sales position. They all seemed more prepared, more confident, more adequate. The store manager, a woman of about 40, with straight hair and a bored look, called one at a time. When it was Luana's turn, the woman's gaze swept her from top to bottom, lingering on the details. The white sneakers that were still too new, the basic jeans, the curly hair tied into a simple bun, Experience in sales? The question came dry. 6 months as a clerk at Zara, 3 months as a waitress. The vacancy requires an aggressive commercial profile. The manager didn't even look at the resume. Do you have this profile? Luana took a deep breath. I have. I hit goals. I talk well. I understand customer service. Let me be honest with you. The manager crossed her arms. This store has a very specific audience. Class A, B. They expect a certain standard. Do you understand? The silence was deafening. Luana understood perfectly. Default meant not you. It meant not black. It meant not useful. I understand, Luana said, her voice firm despite the humiliation burning inside. But I think you're losing a good professional. She turned her back and left before the manager could respond. Outside the mall, Luana leaned against the wall and took a deep breath, fighting back tears. 3 interviews in 2 weeks. 3 refusals disguised as not the profile. She knew what it was. I always knew. The cell phone vibrated in his pocket. Raphael, hotel, how was the interview? Luana looked at the message. He had asked about the interview on Saturday when they met, casually, at the Palista bookstore, a meeting Raphael swore was coincidental, but which she suspected was planned. They had talked for 2 hours about books, about dreams, about life. She had laughed for the first time in weeks. And when they said goodbye, he had asked for her number, just to see if everything was okay. She typed hesitantly, "It didn't work, but it's okay. I'll keep trying." The answer came within seconds. "Can I call you?" Before she could respond, her cell phone rang. "Hello? Luana, hi." Raphael's voice was soft, worried. "What happened? Nothing else? It just wasn't the profile they were looking for." "Profile?" His tone changed. "What does that mean?" Luana hesitated. How to explain without sounding like a victim. How to say they don't want me because I'm black without sounding paranoid. "It means I'm no good. But it's okay, Raphael. I'm used to it." "It shouldn't be." His voice had contained anger. "No one should get used to this." The silence stretched. Then Raphael said, "Let me make you a proposal. It's not charity. It's real opportunity. Almeida Holdings is hiring for the administrative sector, HR assistant. You have experience with customer service. You have a technical degree. You have a profile. I can refer you." "Raphael, no, it's not a favor," he interrupted. "It's competence. You do the normal interview, go through the tests, and are hired based on merit. I just open the door. The rest is up to you." Luana bit her lip. Pride screamed refusal, but survival whispered, "I accept. All good. But if I don't pass, I don't want you to interfere. Deal." She could almost hear his smile. "I'll send the HR manager's contact information." "And Luana?" "Yes, you're going to rock it." On Wednesday, Luana was sitting at the reception of Almeida Holdings, a mirrored glass building in Faria, Lima, wearing her hotel clothes, now washed and ironed, holding her resume and trying to control her nerves. The interview lasted 40 minutes. 3 people, technical questions, practical tests, service simulation. Luana answered everything with precision, clarity, and confidence that she didn't know she had. At the end, the HR manager, a black woman in her 50s, with gray hair and sharp eyes, smiled. "You're hired. Starts next Monday." Luana blinked in disbelief. "Serious?" "Serious. Starting salary $2,800, transportation vouchers, meal vouchers, health plan after 3 months. Welcome to the team." Luana left the building floating. He called Raphael immediately. "I achieved. I knew." His joy was genuine. "Congratulations, Luana. In truth, thanks for everything, for believing. You believed. I just opened the door." They talked for another 10 minutes, laughing, planning, dreaming. And when Luana hung up, she looked at the blue sky of São Paulo and thought, maybe things are finally changing. But she didn't know that, at that exact moment on the other side of the city, the trap was being set. Oi, dear. Victoria was sitting at the Fasano restaurant, pretending to read the menu while she waited. She had chosen that place strategically. It was Raphael's favorite. She knew he had lunch there every Thursday. And at 12:47 p.m., like a Swiss watch, Raphael entered. Victoria looked up, feigning perfect surprise. "Raphael? My God, what a coincidence." Raphael stopped, visibly uncomfortable. Victoria stood up, smiling with that smile that had already seduced and almost trapped him years ago. "Victoria, hey, can I give you a hug? Or are you still mad at me?" Raphael hesitated, but accepted the hug. Victoria took the opportunity to whisper close to his ear, "You are missed." He walked away, polite but firm. "How are you?" "Well, alone, but well." She smiled with calculated sadness. "And you? I hear you're helping people." The phrase had poison. Raphael noticed. "Heard from whom?" São Paulo is small, Raphael." She shrugged. "Especially for us. People talk. Victoria, if you have something to say." No. She raised her hands. "It's not me who should speak. But just be careful, okay? There are people who know very well how to explore kindness. What are you talking about? You're welcome. Victoria took the bag. He forgets. It was good to see you. We talk, okay? She left, leaving Raphael standing there, confused and uncomfortable. She had planted the first seed. Now it was just a matter of waiting for it to germinate. On Saturday, Luana and Raphael met at Ibirapuera. He had suggested a no obligation, just a relaxed trip. They walked along the tree-lined paths, talked about everything and nothing, laughed at silly jokes. At one point, sitting near the lake, Raphael asked, "Can I ask you a personal question?" "It depends on the question. Why did you come to São Paulo? What were you looking for?" Luana looked at the water thoughtfully. "Opportunity, future, a place where I could be more than the cleaning lady's daughter." She smiled sadly. "But the city is tough. She promises but doesn't deliver, not for people like me. People like you, black, poor, no last name." She looked at him. "You don't understand because you were never invisible. But me, I have been invisible since I was born. Except when I'm inconvenient." Raphael was silent. Then he said, "I see you. Not as a project, not as a cause. I see you." Luana felt something tighten in her chest. Something dangerous. Something like hope, or worse, like love. "Raphael, why are you doing this?" In truth, he looked at her, and for the first time he was completely honest. "Because when I saw you at that bus stop, I saw someone who didn't give up, that she was broken, but not defeated. And it reminded me that I don't need to give up either." "Give up what?" "To believe that real people still exist. People who want nothing from me other than truth." Luana swallowed dryly. His eyes were fixed on hers. There was something there, something impossible, something she couldn't allow. But before she could step back, Raphael grabbed her hand, soft, respectful, but decided. "I like you, Luana, not as charity, like possibility." Luana should have removed her hand. "I should have said this can't work." She should have protected herself, but he didn't. Because for the first time someone looked at her as if she mattered, as if she were enough. But 50 meters away, hidden behind a tree, Marcio Ventura was taking photos. Click, click, click. Raphael holding Luana's hand, both smiling. Next, intimates. He immediately sent the photos to Eleonora. The answer came within seconds. Perfect. Now let's move on to phase 2. Arquager Kirarn on Monday, Luana started working at Almeida Holdings. She was received coldly by some colleagues, but the HR manager, Dona Celia, was kind and professional. "You will start in administration, CV screening, scheduling interviews, general support, nothing too complex at first." "Thank you, Miss Celia, I will do my best." "I know you will." The woman smiled. "And you don't care about gossip, okay? There are people here who love to speculate, but you're here on merit." Luana frowned. "Gossip?" Dona Celia hesitated. "Nothing. He forgets. Go there and work." But in the hallway, Luana began to notice. The looks, the whispers. 2 women near the water fountain stopped talking as she passed. A man in a suit laughed softly. Luana pretended not to hear, but the words arrived, clear. Obviously she got in because of him. The CEO fell in love with a beggar. Interesting, I bet. Luana felt her face burn. He entered the bathroom, locked himself in a stall, and took a deep breath, fighting back the tears. "I deserved this job. I passed the interview. I was hired on merit." But doubt began to gnaw. What if it wasn't merit? And if it was just pity? In the afternoon, Luana received a call from an unknown number. "Hello? Luana? This is Karina." Luana froze. Karina, the friend she had lost contact with 3 months ago, after she discovered that Karina was involved in a scam selling counterfeit cosmetics. "Karina, hi, girl, missing. I'm calling you because I heard you're working in a big company." "How chic. How did you know?" "Oh, I have my contacts." Karina laughed. "Look, I have a proposal for you. Remember that cosmetic scheme? So now it's much better, much safer, and, Karina, I don't want to get involved in this." Luana cut in firmly. "But Luana, you would earn good money, and I know you need it." "I don't need it like this. Bye, Karina." She hung up, her heart racing. But Karina called again, and again, and again, until Luana blocked the number. What she didn't know was that Marcio Ventura had paid Karina $500 to make those calls, and he had recorded everything. On Thursday, Eleonora invited Raphael to dinner. "Just the 2 of us, mother and son. It's been a while since we talked properly." Raphael accepted, even reluctantly. At the restaurant, Eleonora got straight to the point. "Are you getting involved with someone?" Raphael hesitated. "Why the question?" "Because I'm your mother, and because I care. I'm an adult. My choices are mine." "Of course." Eleonora drank the wine slowly. "Just answer me one thing. Do you really know her? Or do you know the version she shows you? What are you talking about?" Eleonora took her cell phone and placed it on the table. On the screen, a photo. Luana, next to Karina, laughing, in front of a store. "Did you know that her friend is being investigated for embezzlement?" That she has already been sued 3 times for selling fake products? Raphael looked at the photo confused. So what? Luana is not responsible for her friend's choices. Of course. Eleonora smiled. Unless she's also part of the scheme. This is absurd. Is it? Eleonora swiped her cell phone. Audio. Karina's voice. Remember that cosmetics scheme? Now it's much better. And Luana's voice. Karina, I don't want to get involved in this. It saw, Eleonora said. She said I don't want to get involved, not, I never got involved. This means she was already involved. Mom, you are distorting. I'm protecting you. Eleonora bowed. Raphael, you are too good. You see the best in people, but sometimes the best doesn't exist. Sometimes people lie. Raphael stood up, furious. I won't listen to that. Then investigate, Eleonora said coldly. Ask her. He looks her in the eye and asks, have you ever been involved in anything illegal? And see the answer. Raphael left, slamming the door, but the seed of doubt had been planted. On Friday night, Luana received an anonymous message. Unknown number. Do you really think he likes you? Or does he just like to feel like a hero? She blocked it, but the message kept echoing. Doubts were planted in Raphael. Luana is being attacked anonymously. Social pressure at work increases. The trap is closing. In the second week of work, son, Luana realized that something was wrong. Very wrong. The looks weren't just curious. They were hostile. Conversations stopped when she entered the room. Her name appeared in company WhatsApp groups that she didn't even know existed. And worse, they began to sabotage their work. A report she had completed on Friday disappeared from the system. An important client was dropped without warning, and the blame fell on her. Documents she organized appeared out of order, as if someone had deliberately messed with them. On Thursday, Ms. Celia called her into the living room. Luana, sit down. I need to talk to you. The tone was serious. Luana felt her stomach sink. Did something happen? Donna Celia sighed. Tired. You are being subjected to heavy gossip, and I need you to answer me honestly. Do you have any involvement with the CEO? Luana felt her face burn. I know Raphael. He helped me when I was going through a difficult time, but I passed the interview on merit. I am not. I know you passed. Donna Celia interrupted, looking into her eyes. I hired you, remember? And I don't hire, please. But there are people here who want to bring you down, and they are using this story to do so. Who? Donna Celia hesitated. I can't give you names, but I can give you some advice. Be careful who you trust, and document everything. Every email, every conversation, every task. Because if they want to accuse you of something, you will need proof. Luana left the room shaking. For the first time, he realized he wasn't just fighting gossip. I was fighting a conspiracy. That night, Luana began to investigate. She entered the company's systems, everything she legally had access to, and began checking dates, times, and emails. And he found something strange. In the last 10 days, someone had accessed their login 3 times outside of work hours. Someone had gone through her files. Someone was trying to frame her. She took prints of everything, saved in 3 different places, and he decided that he was not going to be a silent victim. On Saturday, Raphael called. Luana, we need to talk. His tone was different, distant, cold. About what? Personally. Could it be this afternoon? At the coffee shop near Ibirapuera? Luana felt a tightness in her chest. Something was wrong. All good. What time? 3 p.m. When Luana arrived, Raphael was already there. He didn't smile. He didn't get up to greet her. He just waved at the empty chair. She sat up slowly, her heart racing. What happened? Raphael took a deep breath. He seemed to be struggling internally. I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest with me. I always have been. Have you ever been involved in anything illegal? The silence was deafening. Luana blinked, processing the question. What? Schematics, scams, sale of fake product, anything. His voice was tense, controlled. I need to know. Luana felt the world collapse. Are you accusing me? No, I'm asking. No, Raphael, never. She felt her eyes burning. Where did that come from? Raphael took his cell phone out of his pocket and placed it on the table. Luana's photo next to Karina appeared on the screen. Is this your friend? It was. I cut off contact with her when I found out she was selling counterfeit stuff. And before? Did you know? No. Luana felt her voice rise. I found out by accident, confronted her, and never spoke again. Raphael played the audio. Karina's voice. Remember that cosmetic scheme? And Luana's voice. Karina, I don't want to get involved in this. I don't want to get involved. Raphael repeated slowly. That implies you were once involved. Luana stood up, shaking with anger and pain. Do you really believe that? After everything? Do you think I'm a scammer? I don't know what to believe. Then let me make it easier for you. Luana took the bag. Believe what you want, but I'm not going to sit here being judged by someone who doesn't even really know me. Luana, wait. No. She turned around, her eyes filling with tears. Do you want to believe that I am gold-digging, scammer, that I'm using you? So believe it, but don't come and ask me, because you've already decided." She left, and Raphael stood there, alone, feeling like he had just made the biggest mistake of his life. Luana went back to the room she rented, a tiny room in a boarding house on the east side, and cried. He cried with rage, of sadness, of injustice, but in the midst of the tears, something changed. She was no longer going to defend herself. I was going to attack. He took out his notebook, opened the files he had saved, and began putting together a dossier. Each print, every email, every inconsistency, any improper access to the system. And then, digging deeper, he found something. An email, sent from the corporate account of an executive assistant, Mariana Vega, to an external address. The subject, as agreed, information from employee Luana Santos. Attachment, her resume, address, telephone number, photo, Karina's history. Luana clicked on the recipient. The email was from Marcio Ventura. She Googled the name. Private investigator, specialized in corporate and family cases. Luana's blood ran cold. Someone inside the company was investigating her and sending information out. She continued investigating, found more emails, more information transfers, and finally, a name that appeared repeatedly as an indirect sender. Eleonora Almeida, Raphael's mother. It all made sense. The coldness, the conspiracy, anonymous messages, the edited audio. It wasn't a coincidence. It was planned sabotage. Luana printed everything, every test, every email, each print, and he decided that on Monday he would expose everything. But Eleonora was faster. On Monday morning, Luana was called to HR, not by Ms. Kalia, by a man she had never seen before, Dr. Augusto Braga, the company's legal director. "Ms. Santos, sit down." The tone was formal. "Ice cream. Did something happen? We have been informed that you are using company resources for personal purposes, accessing systems after hours, downloading confidential information." Luana felt the floor disappear. "That's a lie. I never. We have logs." He placed a folder on the table. Access to the system at 11:47 p.m. last Friday. At 2:13 a.m. on Saturday. Download corporate files. "I was investigating why someone hacked my account. Do you have proof?" "I have." She grabbed the bag, desperate, and took out the pages. "Look here. These attacks were not mine. Someone used my login. Look at the IP. It's different. And there's more. There are emails being sent to a private investigator. There's..." Dr. Augusto raised his hand. "Miss Santos, this will be investigated. But until then, you're suspended. No salaries. And if misuse is proven, you will be fired for just cause. This is a setup." Luana stood up, her voice breaking. "You are incriminating me. You can leave." Luana left the room, shaking, holding the evidence to her chest. In the corridor, he met with looks of pity and triumph. Some colleagues deviated, others smiled. And at the end of the hallway, standing by the window, was an elegant blonde woman with her arms crossed. Victoria. She smiled, an icy, victorious smile. Luana understood. She had planned everything. But Luana wasn't going to give up. That night, she called the only ally she had, Dona Celia. "Dona Celia, I need your help." "Luana, I can't get involved. I know who's behind it, and I have proof. But I need a witness, someone who validates what I'm going to say." Silence. Then, Miss Kelia sighed. "What do you want me to do?" "There's a general board meeting tomorrow, right? With all the executives?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because I'm going to show up there, and I will expose everything, but I need you to be there, as a witness, please." Dona Celia hesitated. Then he said, "It's okay, but Luana, be careful. These people don't play." Tuesday, 10 a.m. Almeida Holdings Executive Meeting Room, 14th floor. Eleonora presided over the table. Next to her, Victoria, who had been invited as an external consultant. On the other side, Raphael, visibly uncomfortable, and around 10 executives, including Dr. Augusto. The agenda was a quarterly budget, but halfway through the performance, the door opened. Luana entered. Everyone turned. Eleonora narrowed her eyes. Raphael stood up, surprised. "Luana, you can't be here." "I can, yes." She walked to the table, placing a thick paste on the glass surface. "Because I have something you all need to hear. Miss Santos, you are suspended." Dr. Augusto stood up. "Leave immediately or I will call security." "You can call." Luana looked around, steady. "But first I want everyone to know that they are being deceived." For her, she pointed to Eleonora. The silence was absolute. Eleonora smiled, calm, dangerous. "This is defamation, and you will pay dearly for it." "Defamation?" Luana opened the folder. "Then explain this to me here. Emails from your assistant, Mariana Vega, sending my personal information to Marcio Ventura, private investigator, hired by you." She threw the sheets onto the table. It also explains why someone broke into my system account 3 times in the last week. Someone with privileged access, someone who planted false evidence to incriminate me. Raphael took one of the pages, reading it quickly. His face changed. Mom, is this true? Of course. She's inventing. It's all here, Luana shouted, throwing more papers. System logs, different IPs, edited audios, lies planted, all orchestrated by you and her. He pointed to Victoria. Because you don't accept that Rafa, he chose someone for real. Victoria stood up, furious. You are an opportunist. A what? Luana advanced. He speaks. Finish the sentence. A poor black woman who doesn't know her place? Is that what you were going to say? The silence was deadly. Raphael looked at his mother, then at Victoria, and he saw for the first time the naked truth. Mom, did you do this? Eleonora took a deep breath, recomposing her mask. I protected you from this scammer who... She is not a scammer, Raphael shouted, slamming his hand on the table. She's the only person who's been honest with me. He looked at Luana, eyes full of remorse. I'm very sorry. I doubted you, and I was wrong. Luana held back tears. You were, but I didn't come here for you to apologize. I came to show everyone who the scammers really are. She turned to the executives. Do you think this woman cares about this company? With you? She only cares about power, and she's willing to destroy anyone who threatens that, including his own son. Donna Celia, who was at the back of the room, took a step forward. She's telling the truth. I saw the irregular attacks, I saw the sabotage, and I can testify. Dr. Augusto looked at Eleonora, then at the evidence, and finally said, Mrs. Almeida, I think it's better if we talk in private. But before Eleonora could respond, the door opened again, and a man entered, Marcio Ventura, with 2 police officers behind him. Eleonora Almeida, she is being summoned to testify for the crime of defamation, system invasion, and conspiracy to commit fraud. Eleonora turned pale. Victoria tried to leave, but one of the police officers blocked her. Victoria Sandoval, you too. Raphael stood, shocked, seeing his mother and ex-fiancé being escorted. Eleonora looked at Luana with pure hatred. You will pay for this. Luana smiled. Finally, no, the one who will pay is you. Eleonora and Victoria were exposed and subpoenaed, but the war isn't over. They still have power, lawyers, and one last blow. The following weeks were a whirlwind. Eleonora Almeida was removed from all positions at Almeida Holdings by unanimous decision of the board. The police investigation revealed not only the conspiracy against Luana, but also a history of intimidation, contract manipulation, and use of influence to harm officials who threatened the family's control. 3 former employees came forward with complaints. 2 lawsuits were opened. The business press covered it all. Victoria lost all the consultancy contracts she had with companies linked to the Almeida family. His name was publicly associated with fraud and conspiracy. His social networks, previously full of luxurious and posed photos, were flooded with criticism. She disappeared from public life. Marcio Ventura had his registration as a private investigator suspended and faced 3 lawsuits for violating privacy and falsifying evidence. Mariana Vega, the assistant who leaked information, was fired for just cause and sued for breach of confidentiality. And Luana? Luana was reinstated, with a formal apology, with salary increase, and with something she never expected, respect. But 2 months later, Luana was sitting in her new office, small but hers, at Almeida Holdings. She had been promoted to Inclusion and Diversity Coordinator, a role created especially for her after the company publicly acknowledged the systemic failure that enabled the conspiracy. The window faced Paulista, the same avenue where she had slept on a bus bench. Now she worked on the 12th floor, overlooking the city that almost swallowed her. There was a knock on the door. Come in. Raphael appeared, holding 2 cups of coffee. I brought a latte. No sugar, just how you like it. Luana smiled, accepting the cup. Thanks. He sat in the chair in front of her desk. It was different, lighter, more human, as if a gigantic weight had been lifted from their shoulders. How are you? He asked. Good. Tired, but good. She took a sip. And you? How are you dealing with everything? Raphael sighed. My mother will answer for the crimes. The lawyers tried to reach an agreement, but the MP did not accept it. She will probably get an alternative sentence, but the damage is done. The name Almeida is tarnished. I'm very sorry. Don't be sorry. He looked at her seriously. She deserved it, and it took me too long to see who she really was. Silence. Then Luana said, You are not responsible for her choices, Raphael, but I'm responsible for mine. He leaned over, and I made the wrong choice. I doubted you. I hurt you, and that I can't accept. Raphael, let me finish. He took a deep breath. I spent my whole life being manipulated. For my mother, for Victoria, for people who only saw me as money. And when someone real finally appeared, someone true, I doubted it, because I was conditioned to think that no one could truly want me. Luana felt her eyes burning. But do you want me? She asked softly. In truth? Or am I still the redemption project? Raphael got up, walked over to her, and knelt down next to the chair. He took her hand. Luana, you saved me, not because it helped me or because it proved innocence, but because you showed me what real courage is, what is dignity, what it's like to fight even when the whole world is against you. He shook her hand. I love you, not as a project, as a woman, as a person, as future. Luana let the tears fall. I love you too, but I'm afraid. From what? That this isn't real, that one day you wake up and realize that I'm not enough, that I don't belong in your world. Raphael smiled, wiping her tears. You don't need to belong to my world, because I want to belong to yours. He kissed her, and it was the most honest, truest, most liberating kiss that Luana had ever felt. 3 months later, Luana was at Guarulhos Airport waiting in the arrivals area. His hands were sweating. The heart was beating wildly. She looked at the screen with the flights, checking it for the 10th time. Flight 3847, Recife, São Paulo, disboarded. Raphael was next to her holding a bouquet of yellow flowers. Dona Joana's favorite. Calm down, he said, smiling. Everything will be fine. What if she doesn't like you? Impossible. I brought flowers. Luana laughed nervously. Then you saw it. Dona Joana, 53 years, gray hair tied into a bun, simple dress, eyes shining, carrying an old suitcase. Mother! Luana ran. Dona Joana dropped her suitcase and opened her arms. They hugged each other in the middle of the lobby, crying, laughing, holding each other as if the world would collapse if they let go. My daughter, Dona Joana repeated, squeezing Luana's face. You look so beautiful, so strong. I am, Mom. I achieved. I always knew. Dona Joana wiped her tears. Always. Raphael approached respectfully. He held out the flowers. Dona Joana, it's an honor to meet you. I'm Raphael. Dona Joana looked at him, from top to bottom, evaluating. Then he took the flowers and said, Are you the guy who helped my daughter? I am, but actually, she helped me. Dona Joana smiled, a smile that warmed. Then you are welcome. That night, the three of them had dinner together in the apartment that Raphael had rented for Dona Joana, a small but cozy space, close to Luana. The table was full: rice, beans, chicken, salad, farofa, passion fruit juice. Dona Joana ate slowly, savoring each bite, and told stories about Recife. Raphael listened attentively, asking questions, laughing, connecting. Luana watched everything with a full heart. At the end of the night, when Raphael left to give himself privacy, Dona Joana held Luana's hand. Is he good for you? Yes, Mother, very. Then hold him, but not for money, not for comfort. Dona Joana looked deep into her daughter's eyes. Hold on because he sees you. In truth, Luana nodded, excited. I see, Mother, and he sees me. Dona Joana smiled and pulled her daughter into a long hug. You won, my daughter, not because you have a good job or a rich boyfriend, but because you didn't lose yourself. You fought with dignity, and that, no one can take that away. 6 months later, Almeida Holdings launched an inclusion program that became a national reference. Luana led everything: trainings on unconscious bias, real quotas with monitoring, partnerships with public schools, scholarships. The company grew, the image has changed, and Luana became a reference. She gave lectures, she was interviewed, she appeared in business magazines alongside Raphael, not as the girlfriend, but as the executive who revolutionized the culture of Almeida Holdings. Eleonora served an alternative sentence of 2 years in an open regime, providing community service. He lost controlling interest in the company. He lost his prestige. She lost the fear people had of her. Victoria moved to Rio de Janeiro, trying to start over away from the spotlight of shame. And Luana? Luana bought a small house. I brought Dona Joana definitively to São Paulo. He enrolled in a postgraduate course in people management. And every Sunday he made lunch for his mother, for Raphael, and for the friends he made along the way, including Dona Celia, who became a bridesmaid at his wedding. A year and a half after the meeting at the bus stop, Luana was standing in the same place, Avenida Paulista, same metal bench, same fine rain falling. But this time, she wasn't alone. Raphael held her hand. Dona Joana was next door, smiling, and all around a camera crew recorded everything. Luana had been invited. You can participate in a documentary about stories of overcoming, and she had asked to record there, at the bus stop, where it all started. Ready? Asked the director. Luana nodded. The camera turned on. A year and a half ago I was here, sleeping on this bench, homeless, no work, hopeless. She looked around. I had lost everything, but I hadn't lost myself, and that's what saved me. She took a deep breath. People look at me today and think I won because I met someone rich, because I was lucky. But luck is not what sustains you when the whole world doubts you. What sustains you is character. It's dignity. It's knowing who you are, even when they tell you that you are nothing. Raphael shook her hand. Dona Juana wiped away a tear. I learned that justice is not just what happens in court, it's what happens in the heart. It's when you choose to fight for the truth, even when it's easier to give up. It's when you refuse to be defined by pain. She smiled, and that's when you realize that victory isn't about having everything. It's being everything you've always been. Human, worthy, and enough. The camera turned off. The director applauded. Perfect. Exciting. Thank you, Luana. When everyone left, Luana stood there, looking at the city. Raphael hugged her from behind. What are you thinking about? That I came back, but not as a victim, as a winner. You were always a winner. Luana turned, kissed him, and whispered, thank you for stopping the car. Raphael smiled. Thank you for not giving up. On that night, the three of them, Luana, Raphael, and Dona Juana, had dinner together. The table was full. Laughter echoed. Stories were told, and for the first time in a long time, Luana looked around and thought, I did it. Not alone, but I did it. Because in the end, the money didn't matter. It didn't matter the position. The name didn't matter. What mattered was who she was, and she was Luana Ferreira dos Santos. Strong, worthy, victorious. Sempre final reflection. Life doesn't ask us if we are ready for storms. She simply sends them. But within every storm, there is a choice. Be destroyed or be forged. Luana was forged, and it shone. Because true victory is never falling. It's getting up with dignity. It's fighting with character. It is refusing to be defined by pain and choosing to be defined by courage. It doesn't matter where you are today. It doesn't matter who doubted it. It doesn't matter how many times you've been told you're not enough. You are. And one day you will return to the place where you almost gave up, and you will realize that you have never been further from defeat, because you didn't just survive, you won. And you? What did you think of this story? Give a rating from 0 to 10 in the comments. Have you ever been in a situation where people doubted you but you proved yourself? Tell us below. Your story can inspire thousands of people. If this story moved you, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and share with someone who needs to hear this today. And it doesn't stop here. We have another incredible story waiting for you. Click on the next video and come with us. Until next time. And remember, you are stronger than you imagine.